Okay, my name is Ajibike Jimoh. I lead the programs department at VentureSpark, and today we are here for the information session regarding the Develop Ventures Support Program. And on the call with me, I have Bethel. Bethel is the business development lead at VC4A and is the project manager for the develoPPP program in Nigeria. Okay, Bethel.
Hello, good morning. Yes, indeed, as VC4A, together with the VentureSpark, we're supporting the implementation of the develop program. And therefore, I'm very happy to be here and to listen in, but also to answer questions you might have later on. So good to be here. Thank you, Ajibike.
All right, thank you, Bethel. Also on the call with me, I have Camilo, who is from GIZ. Camilo, you want to say hi?
Sure. Hi, everyone. My name is Camilo. I'm project manager for Develop Ventures. And yeah, I'll be here to listen to your questions and also answer some of them.
All right, thank you very much, Camilo. So, okay, into the reason we are gathered here today. We're gathered to talk about the Develop Ventures program support, and it is a program funded by BMZ, being implemented by GIZ and VC4A, and VentureSpark are supporting the implementation in Nigeria. Hence the call today. All right. Also on the call with me, I have my team members at VentureSpark, Panto and Jenny. Do you want to say hello?
Hello, good morning. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the info session.
Right. Thank you, Panto.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning, everyone. My name is Jennifer. Welcome to the info session.
All right. Thank you, Panto and Jenny. It would have been nice to see your face, but it's all good. All right. Okay, great. There is Jenny and Panto. All right. So now that we are all introduced, we would get into the program proper. I'll share my screen so that we can view the slides that I'll be presenting. During the course of my presentation, should you have any questions, you can drop them in the chat box, and my team members will take them down so that it can be answered at the end of the session. This is to ensure that some of your questions might have been answered during the course of the presentation, as such, to avoid repetition. So thank you, everyone. My screen. Okay. Can we all see my screen?
Yes.
All right, great. Okay, so most of us are on this call to get a better insight as to what the Develop Ventures program is all about, and if to check if your company or your startup fits into the selection criteria that we're looking out for. And that's why we have scheduled this session. The Develop Ventures program is a growth funding for startups who are innovative and are contributing to developmental impact in their society. Okay. As I mentioned earlier, it is funded by BMZ, being implemented by GIC, and VC4A and VentureSpark are supporting the implementation in Nigeria currently. Okay, so during the course of this presentation, we will touch on the Develop Ventures in details. We'll talk about how to apply for the funding, and then you get to receive the contact information for any other questions you might have afterwards. Okay, so I had mentioned earlier that the Develop Ventures program is seeking to provide growth funding for innovative startups within the development space. Okay, so it is geared towards supporting young companies who have innovative business models and their solution, their product, their services is also contributing to improving living conditions in their country. The country for this case is Nigeria. So if you are a company, a startup, you have a viable business solution, and you are also contributing to societal improvement, you are the ideal candidate for this program. We'll go into details as regards the requirements for the application in subsequent slides. Okay, so it is important to note that the businesses that we are looking for has already generated turnover, you're generating revenue, you have a proof of concept, and financiers are, interested and convinced about the value that you have to offer and have given towards your business solution. Okay. All right. So the Develop Ventures program is currently available in Ghana, Kenya, Tanzania, and now in Nigeria for the first time. Yeah. Okay, it is geared towards providing a public sector grant of up to 100,000 euros for scaling up your business solution. All right, so onto the minimum requirements to be met by your company. Before you can apply for Develop Ventures program, your company must meet certain criteria, and they are highlighted as follows. Number one, you should be registered in the country where the investment is to be made, and in this case, Nigeria. So we understand that some businesses have registrations in the US, in the UK, in Europe, but for you to be viable for this opportunity, you also need to be registered locally in Nigeria. All right. The next thing is your company needs to be privately owned and profit-oriented. That is, if you are a non-for-profit, you are not a candidate for this opportunity. It should be profit-oriented and privately owned. Okay. You are also required to have a sound business plan. That is, there is a clear-cut document that fully talks about your business strategy, your plans to scale, and there's a full-fledged business plan that talks in details about what your solution is all about. All right. You should also be able to provide at least one annual financial statement for your business. Remember, I mentioned that you should already have a proof of concept and have generated revenue, and as such, you should be able to provide at least one annual financial statement to qualify for this opportunity. Okay. You also need to have adequate and sufficient management structure in terms of your organization hierarchy. There should be, board level management, standard team members. That is, if it's just you and you alone, you do not particularly fit into the requirement for this application. So it is essential for you to have adequate and sufficient management structure for your business before you qualify for this opportunity. Okay. All right. You are required to have additional financiers, that is the matching funds. So if you have gone on the application link prior to now, I'm sure you've seen that the program requires you to have matching funds, and I can imagine that plenty of people on this call have questions as regarding that. There will be a subsequent slide that will talk in detail about the matching funds and all that it entails. Okay. But before you can be considered for this opportunity, you need to have additional financiers, that is a matching fund to the equivalent of the 100,000 euros being offered by this program. All right. The next thing you need to have is a viable financial plan, plus potential to break even within the next 3 years. Okay, so you need to have a viable financial plan plus the potential to break even within the next 3 years. Last but not the least on this requirement list is if you have received funding from any organization prior to now above the tune of 2 million euros, you are not the ideal candidate for this opportunity. That is, but if you have if you are up to date, if you've gotten any kind of funding that has gone above 2 million euros, which could also be to the tune of $2,146,590 or 989,743,950 naira. If you've received any kind of funding that has gone above this amount, you are not the ideal candidate for this opportunity. However, if you've not received any funding up to the tune of 2 million euros, then you are the kind of candidate we are looking for. All right. Okay. So now into this next slide, which would answer a lot of the questions that you might have as regards the matching funds in detail. Okay. So for you to be considered for this opportunity, the company must have received matching funds equaling the amount of the grant financing in the form of cash injection from other investors. That is, for you to be considered for this opportunity, you should have gotten either in present or in the near future, the equivalent of the 100,000 euros that is being offered by this opportunity. Now, these funds, these matching funds could be in the form of equity, it could be in the form of convertible notes, and it could be in the form of grants or loans. However, you know, there are terms and conditions that apply. Yeah. Okay. So, yeah. On to the next. Sorry. Is someone unmuted? Okay. All right. I'll just continue. I thought I had a sound. All right. So the payment of the additional capital, that is your matching fund, you know, the evidence of the receipt of your matching fund is going to be a prerequisite for the disbursement of this grant of the 100,000 euros from the Develop Ventures program. That is, you must show proof that you've received the matching funds before the funds from the Develop Ventures will be, you know, given to you. Now, the matching funds can be considered if received up to 6 months prior to the application, as long as the funds are still predominantly available for the Develop Ventures investment. So if you received the equivalent of 100,000 euros 6 months prior to this application period, you can be considered for this opportunity. All right. Provided that is predominantly still available for the Develop Ventures investment. All right. So that is that about the matching funds. If you have any questions as regarding the matching funds, you can drop them in the chat as I earlier mentioned, and it will be answered after this presentation slide. Okay. Moving on. So the minimum requirements met by your business model before you can be considered for this opportunity are as follows. You should be innovative in solving critical local problems. We have stated earlier that the develoPPP venture, the Develop Ventures program is geared towards supporting young, innovative startups that are. Can we please mute? All right, thank you. The Develop Ventures program is geared towards supporting innovative young startups that are also contributing to societal development in their environments, particularly as touching this session, Nigeria. Okay. So it should be innovative in solving the critical local problems within Nigeria. That's one of the criteria for your business model to qualify for this opportunity. There should be high growth potential evidenced by the market share and the target market segment that you are currently, serving. So there should be high growth potential for your business to be considered. there should also be measurable contribution to attaining the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. That is, there should be metrics to indicate that, oh, if you say your solution, your business is helping to reduce carbon dioxide in the, or to improve to reduce plastic contribution to non-biodegradable waste in the environment, there should be metrics to show that, oh, during the course of your business operation, you've helped to take out a certain number of plastics from the environment, and as such, there should be evidence to show that you are contributing to the Sustainable Development Goals. Okay. Yeah, and then women-led companies are, strongly encouraged to apply. So if you have as a female founder, co-founder on the call, we strongly encourage you to apply for this opportunity. As long as your startup it fits the other criteria that we've highlighted before now. All right. So into the next slide, where we get to talk about practical examples of the innovative startups that we've been talking about, just so that you get better context of what we mean and see how best you fit into the profile. Okay. So yeah, we're going to be talking about two startups in Kenya. And if you're wondering why Kenya, so in previous slides, I mentioned some of the countries where the Develop Ventures program is currently being implemented: Ghana, Tanzania, Kenya, and now in Nigeria. And Kenya has had a complete cycle of the program, and the success stories that we're sharing is from Kenya. All right. So we're talking about Kudura first. Kudura is a social business in Kenya that is building electrical mini grids. Okay, and some of their metrics can be seen on the slides here. One of them is that through their operations, they've been able to bring or connect 4,000 households to a mini grid, created 7 new jobs through their operations, and through the use of renewable energy, they've saved 33 metric tons of carbon dioxide. As I said in a previous slide, that there should be metrics to show. These are some of the metrics that can indicate for you that, oh, you're actually contributing to the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, and as such, you are a fit for the profile of companies that we are looking for. All right. In terms of market presence, Kudura has become one of Kenya's biggest private mini grid developers. Okay, and they've had investors, help support their scale in the country. Okay, we can see, some other metrics about Kudura here on the right, and where we see between the year 2019 to 2020, they were able to record this success that we see here on the slide. And to read more about this project and other projects, my colleague Jennifer will drop a link in the chat where you can go on and read, just to ensure that your company aligns with what we're looking for. Okay, move on to the next example. We have a fintech in Kenya also called Data Integrated, and their solution is mobile payment solution. All right, so just to speak to some of their own metrics as well. Oh, sorry. Okay, so mobile payment solution is a fintech that develops digital management solutions for public transport in Kenya as well. Yeah, and during the course of their operation and their service delivery, they've been able to improve the working conditions of bus drivers, 524 bus drivers. Just the project term is 2020, and with formal contract and, being able to make use of their device, their platform, they've been able to increase the revenue, the income for the bus companies that they get to work with by 40%. They've also been able to create 35 new jobs in the companies and the partner companies that they get to work with. Okay, and the demand for Mobitil solution has increased by a significant amount over the course of their operation. As well, the link that Jennifer shared earlier, you can read more about, what Mobitil is doing in Kenya, and just to see how you can fit into the innovative startups that are contributing to the development of society, and get to know if you can be considered for this opportunity. All right. Okay, so going on to how to apply for the funding. All right, so yeah, I'm going to run you through the step-by-step process of applying for the funding. And the number one point of touch is the application cycle, which is currently ongoing. It started off on the 15th of May and runs through till the 30th of June. So during this time, we strongly encourage that if you fit the profile that has been highlighted so far, do hasten up to finish your application before the due date so that you can be considered. All right. Now, the next step after the application cycle is completed will be the pre-selection stage, where we're going to be shortlisting about 10 startups, and then they would get to proceed into the next step of the application or the program cycle. And the next step would be a pitch to a panel of jury, and after which 5 to 7 would be selected to proceed to the due diligence stage of the cycle, where everything that you've presented, the documents, the matching funds that you say you have will be verified duly, and then before you can proceed on to the next step in the cycle, which is the contract phase, where you get to enter into a contract with the funders and implementers of this program, GIZ and BMZ accordingly. And then the next step would be the funding and technical assistance stage. Now, the funding stage is, of course, where you get to receive the 100,000 euros if you've met all the selection criteria as indicated in all the steps before. And then the technical assistance is where, other than the funding, you also get to get support in areas that are peculiar to your specific business needs. So there's no blanket technical assistance for all the selected 5 to 7 startups. Instead, you each receive tailored support based on your respective business needs. All right. And yeah, so that's the last step of the program cycle. However, I can imagine that as I've gone through the criteria, some people are wondering that, oh, I don't have this yet, I don't have that yet. And say, for instance, the matching fund, if you at this point do not have any matching fund to meet the criteria, you can hasten up to engage investors. There's another cycle that will come later in the year between 15th November to 31st December, where, if you don't yet have your annual financial statements, if you don't yet have, all the requirements, as I mentioned earlier, you can hasten up to prepare yourself towards the next cycle of the application. However, if for all the requirements I've mentioned, you fit perfectly, then you can hasten up to also apply for this cycle that is running currently. Okay. And all right. So if your organization, your startup is promoting gender equality, you are a good fit for this program, as long as you meet the other criteria that has been highlighted before now. And as such, you can go immediately to the link here. My colleague will be dropping it in the chat as well, to start applying for this opportunity. Okay, and yeah, if during the course of your application, other than the information that has been shared here, if you have other questions, you can reach out to any of this, either the telephone number or the email. My colleague will also drop that in the chat so that you can reach out. And I think I've come to the end of my presentation, but the floor is now open for questions and answers. I'll just look through the chat to see if there are questions. Okay, I already see a question here. I'll just stop sharing my screen. All right. So Oluwa Folakomi Oyeleke is asking, should you be making revenue before applying? Okay, yeah, I think one of my slides already touched on that. Your company should already be generating revenue before applying. Okay. Oh, and I see Betty has attended to that. Okay. Any other question? If you're on the call, you want to unmute and ask your questions, please, now is the time to do so. I'm here to answer. Betty is here and Camilo is also here to answer your questions. Anyone? No questions. Does that mean that the slides was very well explained and there's no, yeah. Ibukun, I see you. Do you have any question? Olaide, Temitope, Eric, any question? Ayobami, any question?
Question from me.
Hi.
Hello.
Yeah, please, I have a concern.
Okay.
Yeah, please, during your presentation,
Yes.
you only made reference to Nigeria. I'm from Ghana, so I don't know.
Oh, okay. This session is for the applicants from Nigeria.
Whether Ghana is not part of this.
I'll call on Betty to answer that question for you, but this session is for Nigeria applicants.
Oh, okay.
Yes, Eric, welcome. The good news is that there is an open call for Ghana ongoing at the moment. And the information that was presented is very much similar for Ghana. So the information is the same, even the application page, the links that have been shared in the chat will also bring you to the information that's relevant for you. And the application link is also where you can apply for Ghana. Once you log in, you'll be able to see the countries that the call is currently open for, and you just click Ghana and you just proceed when you want to apply. So this session is about Nigeria, but you're not in the wrong place for the program, that's sad to say. So thanks for that question. Are there any other questions?
I'm okay. Thank you very much for your response.
All right, you're welcome, Eric. So, I mean, for Oluwa Folakemi, I think she has even dropped off the call, but if you have seen that maybe you do not fit the selection criteria for this opportunity from the slides shared thus far, you can, as I said, still get your documents or business prepared for the next cycle. You already have all the details of what is required of you, so you can start working on that. We are from June through till November to prepare, okay, for the next cycle. However, if you do know any other startup, within your community that fits the criteria, feel free to share this information with them, and if they require additional support, they can write to the email that we've dropped here on the chat. Okay, I see new people coming onto the call. EBM Chimeze, you're welcome. All right, let me just scroll through to see if any other question has been asked. Okay, Olaide says the slides are well explained. Okay, great, thank you. Okay, yeah. So if there are no questions, I don't know if we should keep everyone on the call longer. Everybody seems to have gotten the gist of the call, except for EBM. EBM Chimeze, please, did you just join or you were on the call before and dropped off, just so we can catch you on the conversation a bit? EBM Chimeze, can you hear me? If you're speaking.
Yeah, good morning. I can hear you. Good morning.
Right. Okay, good morning. How are you
Good morning. I can
today?
hear you. Good morning, everyone.
All right. So
I'm
did
good.
you?
How about you?
I'm all right. So were you on the call before, or did you just join? So we know if
Okay, I'm actually joining now. Sorry
Oh.
I apologize for being late.
Okay. All right. So we've had a run through of the slides, and some information have also been dropped in the chat box. But have you had the opportunity to look at the application link before now? And do you have any specific questions that we could just answer before we run off? Because we might not be able to go back through the slides.
Okay. Frankly speaking, I didn't look in details of the link. I mean, on the application link, I didn't look in details of the information. But I will still go back to read them through.
All right. Okay. So what we can do is for everyone who registered for this call, we're going to send them a recording of this session so that they can get an overview of what we've talked about. Somebody already said that is well explained. So I feel you may not have additional questions after you watch the recording. But if you do have additional questions, we have the email. Jennifer, please, can you reshare for him since he just joined the email and the contact info for reaching out if you have need for any clarification. And as I was saying when you came in, that if you know anyone within your community who fits the criteria for this opportunity, please do inform them about it. And we'll be having another info session in June, on the 23rd of June, same time, and maybe if you have not submitted your application at that point and you still need clarity, you can join that call or invite other people to join just to get better insights into the opportunity. All right. All right. Okay. Thank you. Without additional question, let me just ask once again, anyone with questions, any question that has come up since I last asked? None? Okay. All right, so we don't keep everyone longer.
Yeah, sorry.
Okay.
I have a question.
All right. Okay.
Yeah,
Hi.
good morning.
Good morning, Ayobami.
Yeah, thank you very much. So apparently, when we were going through your presentation, I read everything. Currently, I've come up with some document, but currently now I'm working on my MVP product. So for now, I don't think I'll be applying, but since there is the fourth quarter part that is coming up, I think you said November to December. So I'll give it a thought, and I believe by then I'll be done with my MVP product and it will be available online. So, but another thing I want to ask is there if you have probably like maybe an acceleration program or an online platform where startups like us, we can learn more things while we are applying or building our MVP product. If there is any assistance.
Oh, sure. So noted on you working on your MVP against the next cycle of the application, great one. As regards support for you while you're building your MVP, I think you can drop your information in the chat and Jennifer will reach out to you to see how we can support you during your MVP development. Ibami?
Okay,
All right,
okay.
okay,
Thank you very much.
you're welcome.
I'll drop my info now.
All right, okay. So Eric is asking, would it be possible for the presentation slides to be made available to us? Yes, we would share the recording and the presentation slides with you as well. Okay, in the absence of additional questions, I would like to bring this call to a close. Betty, Camilo, do you have any closing remarks for the guys on the call?
Not from my side, but we're looking forward to see your applications. And if you need any support, please don't hesitate to contact the team of Venture Spark, but also VC4A. They can guide you through the process. Thank you.
Right. All right. Thank you, Camilo. Betty, any word from you?
Hello, everybody. No additional comments from my side. Just thanks for your presentation, Ajibike. Well done, and yeah, we remain available, and we hope you consider applying if you meet the criteria. I think the match funding part is an essential one, and if you are in talks with investors and you're looking to close around relatively soon, then you're also you can also be considered for the program. So looking forward to hearing from all of you, and thanks for now. Bye bye.
All right. Thank you very much, Betil. Thank you all. With that, we have come to the close of this information session. Do you take note of the email addresses to contact if you have additional questions outside of this conversation? And do enjoy the rest of your day and have a lovely weekend. Bye for now.
Bye. Thank you so much.
Bye.
Bye bye.